Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So before we dive into these topics, do me a favor. If you do end up enjoying this video or finding it informative, please hit that like button. It helps the videos out more than you know. If you are new here to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. And while you're at it, consider hitting that join button and becoming a channel member to gain access to some exclusive perks. But diving into the first topic, we have the PlayStation Plus Essential, Extra, and Premium lineup officially revealed by Sony. So I'm going to go over to Nebellion on Twitter, who does a good job compiling this type of information. And so the Essential lineup, you're looking at Need for Speed Heat, so that's for PlayStation 4, Toem for PlayStation 5, and also for PlayStation 4, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. So let me know what you think about the PlayStation Plus Essential lineup. But moving on to the Extra and Premium game catalog, it's looking like it's a pretty good month, especially for PlayStation Plus Extra. I do think it's a much better month for Premium as well, because they're actually adding some new titles for Premium. So for Extra, we are looking at Deathloop, Assassin's Creed Origins, Watch Dogs 2, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Spiritfarer Farewell Edition, Chicory, Monster Energy Supercross, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, Rabbids Invasion, Rayman Legends, and Scott Pilgrim. And then finally looking at the lineup for PlayStation Plus Premium Classics, we're looking at Siphon Filter 2, so that's a PS1 title, and it will have trophy support. The Sly Collection for PS3, Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, PS3, Bentley's Hack Pack, PS3, Toy Story 3, PSP, and Kingdom of Paradise, PSP. So, you know, when it comes to PlayStation Plus Premium, it's nice to see them actually adding stuff to the Premium catalog. I still don't know if this is enough to necessarily justify, you know, going all in with PlayStation Plus Premium, so I'm going to refer to those of you who are currently subscribed to PS Plus Premium. What do you think about this month's lineup? But you know, there's no doubt that PlayStation Plus Extra continues to be a great deal. Month over month, Sony's doing a great job, in my opinion, supporting that. So yeah, let me know in general what you think about these lineups. Next up, we have some really interesting information about Konami. First, Konami is letting us know that they are getting ready to announce a new game from a series loved around the world at TGS. This is being reported on by VGC. They say Konami will announce a new game related to a classic series during next month's Tokyo Game Show. The publisher published its full Tokyo Game Show lineup on Wednesday, with most of the games listed being titles already known. However, in its schedule of stage events, it lists a 45-minute show taking place on September 16th, which is titled Konami New Release Announcement. And it says here that one publishing source told VGC that the reveal is likely to be related to a smaller project rather than Konami's larger planned revivals of Castlevania, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear Solid, the first of which, that being Silent Hill, is understood to be the furthest along in development, which VGC reported on last year. So what's also interesting about this is we have what might be some more information on what we can expect here. So there's another rumor saying that new Metal Gear Solid 1 through 3 remasters are 100% true, and they're coming to consoles and PC. This is being reported on by PlayStation Universe, where they say rumors of Konami's plans to resurrect the Metal Gear Solid franchise have gathered steam again this week after noted leaker Dust Golem has chimed in on the original VGC report from a year ago about Metal Gear Solid 1 through 3 receiving all new remasters, which he says is 100% true. And in his tweet, he says, "I said this in the other thread, but can confirm this is 100% true. I will not be surprised if others have heard about it, but also, as recently, they have made agreements to distribution methods and finalizing the games to soon be reviewed by review boards and the like. Very likely, these get announced relatively soon. I don't know their exact marketing plans. I just know developments on distribution have been happening very recently." So, yeah, this is, to be clear, on top of a report that apparently Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is getting a full-blown remake, which is separate from this, and that's being helmed by Virtuous Studio. Now, we haven't heard anything more on that, so, you know, we have no idea if that's actually happening, but it seems very likely that, you know, with multiple sources coming out here and talking about this, we are going to see the announcement of Metal Gear Solid remasters 1 through 3. One final thing I want to note here is, well, first of all, it's unfortunate that Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots is missing. I think a lot of people are going to be unhappy about that. I Don't know why that is, but also apparently, according to Special Nick, he is teasing out that the Metal Gear Solid 1 remaster will actually be a remaster of Twin Snakes. So I think that might prove to be a bit controversial, and I'll be interested to see what you guys think of that down below. But on our final topic, talking about Konami, obviously, everybody's wondering if Silent Hill, is it real? Is it actually going to be revealed anytime soon? The reports, the rumors have been insane over the past year or two. So I figured I would just update you guys here. This is coming once again from PlayStation Universe, and it says a new Silent Hill reveal may be coming sooner than we have been led to believe, according to VGC's Andy Robinson. So before I read you the tweet, to give you a little bit more context, yesterday VGC put out an article implying that the announcement for Silent Hill, or like the big revival announcement of Silent Hill, is likely to come later. And so Andy Robinson follows this up by saying, I've now heard from several people that a Silent Hill reveal may be sooner than I suggested in my story today. As with all reporting on timings, I wouldn't take that as gospel, but fans possibly won't have to wait much longer. And it's worth noting that Jeff Grubb chimed in with a GIF here that seems to hint at September, that being this month, is when we can expect this announcement. Now, naturally, this has led many to assume that, hey, if we are getting a PlayStation showcase this month, considering there have been a myriad of rumors suggesting that Sony struck some type of deal for an exclusive Silent Hill project, maybe that's where we're going to see it. I think that's certainly a possibility, but this is the latest we're hearing, so take it for what it is. Moving on, though, we're talking about a pretty significant news story that got a lot of people talking, and that is Sony is acquiring a minority stake in Fromsoftware. Now, they're not acquiring the studio, but this is essentially the next best thing that Sony could be doing, and there are a lot of implications here. So I want to refer to William Aguilar on Twitter, who broke some of this down, and he says, breaking news, Sony, PlayStation / Tencent are buying part of Elden Ring, Souls, and Armored Core developer Fromsoftware. Tencent will become the second largest shareholder with 16.3%, while Sony will own 14.1%, and Katakawa will remain the majority owner. And so he continues here by giving us a bit more insight, and he says, with this news, it's not clear if all future Fromsoftware games will be PlayStation exclusive. However, Katakawa and Sony are an official financial alliance, which is as close to being one company as two separate companies can be, so at least some future games will be exclusive. Since Sony has chosen this route, it is now unlikely that Fromsoftware / Katakawa will be fully acquired, but with the combined share votes of Sony and Katakawa, they can outvote Tencent if they want to make all future games exclusive. This is at least a partial ownership. And he concludes by saying consolidation will continue, especially with the threat of a possible recession looming. Many studios will seek to be purchased to survive the financial storm, so keep a lookout. And so, yeah, I wanted to highlight what William is saying here, because I think that some people maybe don't fully understand why Sony is doing something like this. I mean, there are obviously a few different reasons why Sony's doing it, but the main reason is likely to strengthen the partnership that they already have established with Fromsoftware, and also to potentially gain more exclusive games in the future, because as William points out, the chances of getting an exclusive game, or maybe more than that down the line from Fromsoftware, has gone up quite a bit after this. But on top of that, this is essentially ensuring that all future Fromsoftware games will release on PlayStation. Of course, this does again increase the chances of some exclusive games being made, but it also kind of, fends off the idea that Sony could potentially lose these games on their platform in the future due to further consolidation. So a very smart move, a very strategic move made by Sony here, and I think that we're going to definitely continue to see Sony make these strategic key investments with partners where they want to make sure that, look, we have our own platform here. We know that the chances of losing games is higher than it's ever been before. We want to do everything we can to prevent that from happening. And so obviously this is leading people to hope that maybe the chances have now gone up for a Bloodborne 2, or a spiritual successor of some kind that will be a PlayStation exclusive. I mean, anything is possible, but I'd say that this, yeah, definitely is a good sign going forward for Sony and Fromsoftware and that partnership. So let me know what you think about that. We are going to move on to the final topic, though, which talks about God of War. We have some very good news for God of War. I shared a very short clip that came from Gameinformer, and it gave us just a very, very brief glimpse of gameplay. But we have more gameplay that's going to be coming soon. So we have Andrew Reiner. He is the editor-in-chief at Gameinformer. When they announced that God of War Ragnarok would be their cover story, he puts out a tweet where he says, just to temper expectations, we have roughly 4 minutes of new God of War Ragnarok footage to share. Now, this was to calm people down because, once we heard about this and they made it clear that we're going to be seeing new gameplay in the coming weeks, he didn't want people to get their hopes too high, expecting that it's going to be a 15 to 20 minute deep dive. As I've said many times, if Sony's going to do something like that, they're going to reserve it for their own state of play. They've done this many times in the past, but still people are very happy about this because it's like, hey, 4 new minutes of God of War Ragnarok footage. That's that's a lot better than what we've gotten in the past year, which has been almost 0 minutes or essentially 0 minutes. So that's good news. I'll be sure to update you guys when we get more of that. But on top of that, they did a deep dive into some of the combat in God of War Ragnarok. And so while I did put that short clip out yesterday, a lot of people, would like more context to know like what's going on, what changes are being made to combat. And I think that a lot of people are also feeling a little bit nervous where it's like, did they make any changes at all? Did they make any improvements? And the good news is they have definitely improved a lot about the combat and definitely fleshed it out even further. So reading from Push Square, it says God of War Ragnarok's November 9th release date is fast approaching, and the excitement is palpable amongst the PlayStation faithful. Kratos' next adventure is getting the Gameinformer cover treatment in September, and it says we know new gameplay footage is coming. Today we learned some tidbits about the game's revamped combat system. Specifically, a small change to the function of the triangle button will allow for more combat options. Lead combat designers outline the change in a new Gameinformer feature, as well as the philosophy behind the decisions, and this is what they had to say. In the last game, if you pressed triangle, you were called the axe, but if you already had the axe, nothing happened. If you had the Blades of Chaos and you pressed triangle, you just went back to the axe. We looked at that concept and wondered, what if we could do something a little bit different with that button, a whole new suite of moves? Now, each weapon will have what is called a weapon signature move, allowing Kratos to fuse them with ice or fire, elemental power respectively. For the Leviathan Axe, this is called Frost Awaken, and for the Blades of Chaos, it's called Whiplash. In addition, we learned that shields would function differently this time around, with each leaning into a particular playstyle. The Dauntless Shield, for example, will benefit high-skill players, as parrying at the last moment will cause it to glow red and allow them to unleash a punishing smash attack, stunning enemies and launching them into the air. The Stonewall Shield, meanwhile, is designed for players that prefer a tankier style of play. You will not be able to parry, instead absorbing incoming damage, which can be built up and released as a shockwave, blasting opponents off their feet. The trade-off is that it becomes more unstable as it takes damage, opening Kratos up to block breaking attacks. There will be other shields for players to find on their journey through the 9 realms, and so obviously, these are some good additions being made to the combat. I think, again, this is something that people are really going to be paying close attention to as we get closer to the launch, because, you see all the ridiculous comments about how this game looks no different, it's the same game, and people are just acting as if they suddenly forgot what a sequel is and what iteration and refinement is, even though we see it in the games industry more than ever before, not necessarily in a bad way. But, I digress. The point is they are making some pretty significant changes to some areas of the new combat system, and it sounds like it's going to work out pretty well. This definitely sounds like it's adding another deeper layer to the combat that will allow people to really kind of, maybe change up and vary their playstyles. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be getting some new footage kind of showing this in action sooner rather than later, because I'm definitely excited to see more of this game. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you think about the new gameplay footage we saw, as well as some of the changes or improvements, I should say, that are being made to the combat. But that does it for the video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, again, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.